Hello, it's Monkey back in action. Today we are going to be doing yoga for our activity. We are going to be doing ball pose, L pose, Y pose, tree pose, camel pose, volcano pose, Açaí pose, cross pose, and ball pose. And for our activity, I'm going to show you how to do a really fun activity with a ball. So let's get started. First, we have our ball pose. So you can I'm using this foam thing. You can also use about like this building block. It's not really a building block, but it's a yoga block. And do it as well. So first, I take this, sorry, you're kind of in the sun. So first, I take this, and I put my knees on it, so you can see, and then I put my head down and support it up. Okay, after that was ball pose. Now, next we have L pose, which isn't too hard. So you take your right leg and scrunch it in like this, scrunch it in, and then take your left leg and put it forward. And then you make an L. Just whatever you can make an L with your feet, just do that. And then what you do is you can go fist if you want to do easy, lift yourself up. If you want to do a little bit harder, you can use 3 fingers and try to lift yourself up. If you really want to do something hard, take what's a good example? I'm not going to do it, but you can take your thumbs and try to lift yourself up. I'm just going to stick with this, the normal one. And if you want to challenge really hard, try lifting your foot up while you're doing it. Okay, next we have Y pose. This one's a simple one. So you would take your left leg, just that one stays there. And then you connect this one and here, I'll show you what I'm doing. So this is what it looks like. And then you scooch in, scooch out, scooch in, scooch out. Okay, that's Y pose. I know it's not clear. I'm getting a better video of this. And then next is tree pose, which I will show you. Okay, tree pose. We have a different tree pose. This is what you're used to for tree pose. And you might also be used to twisting the legs and putting it together for tree pose. We do something different. For tree pose, we stand still, cross your leg, and step on your toe, and then you take your arms, start at the cross, go up, out, and sway. So that's our tree pose. And then next we have our camel pose, which if you know how to do a lunge, it's basically that. So if you just lunge down on one of your knees, put your hands up and out, and then switch legs and do the same thing. Switch legs, and you can stop or start doing it anytime. And then next we have volcano pose, which is pretty easy. You just do a squat, wheel your hands together, and then boom, jump up. Next we have Açaí pose, which I don't think it's too hard. Açaí pose. Açaí pose, Açaí pose. Well, Açaí pose, it's a little tricky. So you can either, if you want to do it tricky and you think you can, I have never had anyone text me and say they did it with a ball. So I'm going to take my block and do it. If you want to do it really easy, you can just do it on the floor. But we're going to do frog pose. So, if you're little and you're watching, you don't have to do frog pose. You can just go down in a squat and hold your hands if you're little. This is the frog pose I'm going to do. I'm not going to do it on the blocks. I've never seen anyone do it on the ball. But, yeah. So, what you do is you put your hands down, and then you try to lift your legs up on it. I can't do it for very long, but yeah. So next we have, dun dun dun, cross pose. And cross pose, you separate your legs and you take your hands like this, and kind of like in Kung Fu Panda, you would sway. You do sway, and then the other way, sway, sway. And then once you've done that 4 times, 2 on each side, you can either try to do the splits. You can either try to, sorry about that. You can either try to do the splits. I cannot do the splits. Or you can do this once you've done it 4 times. Okay, next we have ball pose, which I think is one of the easiest. It's sort of like the ball pose at the front, except instead of using a roll or a block, we use a ball. So you take your knees on it, and this time you don't put your head down, you put your hands down. And put your knees up, and you roll. Roll on the ball. Roll, roll up, and roll down without touching your feet to the ground. Okay, next, it's the end now, so I'm going to teach you the fun activity. So it works better if you have someone with you, but you can do it by yourself. So that's a bad pose to put it in. How did I put it? I'll put it right here. Sorry about that, folks. So I have just a simple Wilson soft play ball. It's a volleyball. And I've never brought it outside before, so it's pretty clean. If yours is all dirty, I wouldn't recommend using it unless your house is dirty. But so throw the ball up. You can either try one-handed or two-handed. I'm going to do one-handed. Throw up, and then if you threw it up one-handed, you have to catch one-handed. If you throw it up two-handed, you have to catch two-handed. But it gets more tricky than that. So let's try two-handed. And catch with two-handed. If you want, but yeah, if you do throw it up with one hand, you have to catch with one hand. You don't have to, but like, that's what you're supposed to do. So next, I'm gonna try, so bounce it up and down. Bounce it. Okay, then throw it up, and catch with the other hand if you can. Throw up, catch with the other hand. That is really hard, but most people might try to do it. Okay, well, that's the end of our video, folks. Next video, we will be showing you some, we might do a challenge, or we might do the pom-pom challenge, or the cheerleading challenge, or the makeup challenge. And we might do blindfolded makeup challenge, which I love.